Hello and welcome back, everybody. This is Marylin from Rossano's Casa. Hope we're well. So this is a dessert recipe that I'm going to share with you. Now, I'm recording this on it's a Thursday. This Saturday, I have a supper club here in the studio, and this is the dessert that I will be making and dishing up on the evening. So supper club is a dinner. It's a share style surprise menu, so you don't actually know what I'll be dishing up on the evening until you arrive, which is the whole purpose of it. And so sometimes I theme them. Sometimes I'll do a menu that's very Middle Eastern. Sometimes I'll do a menu that's quite Italian. This one is a sort of mashup. But anyway, so this is the dessert, and it is a limoncello and raspberry tiramisu. Sorry, that was hard to get out. So we're going to make it together. It's very, very easy and very simple. There are a little bit of stages, but it comes together pretty quick, I would say, for a tiramisu. Now, what I have done is I have made a simple sugar syrup, literally 1.5 cups of cold tap water, 1.5 cups of caster sugar, and I've let that simmer on a medium heat just for about 5 to 8 minutes, just until the sugar has dissolved. You don't want to boil it. You don't want to simmer it for too long, because the longer you do it, you will throw the ratio out. It will reduce, but it will still be quite watery. As it cools down, it will thicken. But I'm just going to let it come down. It's pretty much at room temperature now, and we're going to do the next step in this. So anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, share if you're enjoying these episodes. There are more episodes on my page if you've just stumbled across this randomly that you can binge watch. But let's get into it. This looks like a little bit of a mess here, but it'll come together beautifully. So let's make the sugar syrup first, which I've already done, but we're going to add a few things to it so that we can dunk our lady fingers into the recipe. Anyway, we'll come back. Let's just run through our ingredients really quickly, because I usually do that. So first component, we have our sugar syrup. Like I said, water, sugar, let it dissolve a bit. It's quite runny still. To that, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of limoncello, which is alcohol. You can make yourself. I just have a store-bought bottle. If you don't want an alcoholic version, you can just simply replace the limoncello with fresh lemon juice. It is totally fine. And then the zest of 1 lemon. So that's pretty straightforward. We have our Italian lady fingers. So there's 350 grams of those. So then we're going to literally dunk the lady fingers in the syrup, and we are going to layer a sheet pan, as you can see. So I think it's about 9 by 13 inches, I reckon. So I don't know. The recipe is on the website. To that, we're then going to whip some thickened cream with caster sugar. Then we're going to quickly just whip up some mascarpone cheese, so just to loosen it up a bit. Fold through some store-bought lemon curd. You can make your own. There is enough going on here that we can sacrifice hand-making lemon curd on our own. Generally, I would like to if I'm making little tarts or other desserts, but there's a lot already going on and I can't be bothered. So store-bought lemon curd it is. So whip that together, then fold through the cream and layer it all. And I have 500 grams of fresh raspberries. I'm only using so many raspberries because I am going to just nicely layer them like little soldiers on the top of the tiramisu, just purely for aesthetic purposes. You can use literally half of this amount, just scatter them as you please. Depends how expensive they are. So let us do this part first, and then we will whip the rest up, okay? So we have our sugar syrup. As you can see, it's still quite watery. If I wanted it thicker, I would have just boiled it a little bit more, let it go down to room temperature. As this cools down and goes in the fridge, it does thicken. But I do want it quite watery, because we are going to dunk the lady fingers into this, and you don't want it thick, to be honest. So I'm going to add in the limoncello, which is the alcohol. Like I said, if you don't want an alcoholic version, you can replace the limoncello with fresh lemon juice. So I'm going to add the zest of this lemon. I've just washed it thoroughly to remove any of that wax. And it's really funny. Once I didn't wash it that well and I was zesting a lemon, I was like, what is that? It smells like a candle. No wonder. So we literally just zest this, and then I'm going to put it aside while we whip together the cream, the mascarpone and the cream and the lemon curd, because that's going to be the beautiful layers in between the dunked ladyfingers. So let's get on to that next. You will need either a stand mixer with a whisk attachment. You could either use paddle, but I'm going to use a whisk attachment, or just handheld beaters. To be honest, that's probably the best way to do it. All right, so I'm going to actually whisk the cream first. So the cream along with the caster sugar. So this should only take about 3 minutes on medium speed. You'll get some beautiful, fluffy, soft peaks. Okay, and then we're going to set it aside. We're essentially whipping the cream, because then we're going to do the mascarpone, lemon curd, lemon juice mixture and fold this beautiful whipped cream into that mixture. Anyway, today I'm not really articulating my steps very well, but you get the drift. Anyway, 3 minutes, medium speed. I'll show you what it looks like. All right, 3 minutes has passed. Just going to show you what that looks like. You do not want to overbeat it because it will split, and yeah, then it will not be pleasant. So I'm going to put this aside just over here. I'm going to get another bowl attachment. Now, if you only have one stand mixer, just empty that into a plate, because we are going to make the mascarpone component to this dish. First things first, I can't even talk today. I've taken the mascarpone cheese out of the fridge for about 30, 40 minutes. It's not very hot today, mind you, not in direct sun. Just to bring it to room temperature a little bit. Okay, so we're going to put this in another bowl. So if you've got handheld beaters, you just want to loosen this up a little bit. As you can see, it's quite it's like a paste at the moment. So we're going to loosen it up a little bit, because then we're going to put through the lemon curd. So I don't mind that there's cream on that paddle attachment, because essentially we're going to add it all in there anyway. So literally just on a medium speed, just for a few seconds to loosen it up a bit. Let's go in with our lemon curd. I'm trying to this is really, oh God. Welcome to Marylin having one of those days, right? Sometimes we're a master in the kitchen. Other times we're just a little bit more sloppy, shall we say? Anyway, so I'm just emptying there's about 400 mils or grams of lemon curd in this container. So in that goes, all right, then we're going to add in half a cup of fresh lemon juice. Don't worry if it looks a little bit split. And then we're just going to mix it for a few seconds until it's combined. And I'll come back and show you what it looks like. All right, that is what it looks like. As you can see, I'm going to actually fold through the whipped cream. All right, let's go in with our cream, and you could just fold it with a spatula. I'll mix it just for a few seconds until it's incorporated. And then we're going to get into the layering. It's not too hard. You know, if you make a real traditional tiramisu, there are some components in there. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with me today? There are some components in there that take a lot of time, especially if you're whipping, you know, egg whites and this and that. Some are a cheats version. I was going to say, if you don't like mascarpone, you can use cream cheese, but to be honest with you, there's nothing better than mascarpone in tiramisu. I'm just going to mix that in just very low speed, few seconds until it's incorporated. And then we're going to get into layering, finally. Now we are going to layer. So we have our ladyfinger biscuits. You want to dunk it in here for 2 seconds each side, and that is it, okay? Don't want to leave them swimming in there for too long, because these are very airy and soft biscuits. They are going to absorb every bit of juice. It might not look like a lot now, but these will soften. You want them to have still a bit of crispiness to them, because ideally we are going to serve this. We're going to leave this in the fridge overnight, and these are going to soften with time. If you have a pan that you can literally fit both of these fingers next to each other, that would be great. If you do not, this pan sort of goes out then in. Then you can just do one layer horizontally and the other vertically. It's 2-layer cake. So we're going to literally layer this. It's quite therapeutic, as you can see. Okay, and then we are going to add half that cream mixture, mascarpone, lemon curd mixture on top of this. You can add a bit of raspberries in the middle layer as well. It's up to you. It's totally optional. I'm not going to because I've got enough for the top. Okay, so we're going to add half of the cream mixture here, do another layer on top. Then we're going to add the rest of the cream mixture and the fresh raspberries. Let's go in with half of the cream mixture. I'm going to smooth it out using an offset spatula. I'm just going to eyeball half the mixture as such. Does not matter as long as there's enough to cover. There's plenty, to be honest. All right, we're just going to make sure that this is nice and smooth. As you can see, I'm going to repeat the process. Like I said, you can add in some raspberries to this layer. I'm not, because I'm literally using half a kilo on the top. But you can divide it. Depends how neat you want it to look. So just smooth it out. Look, this is a very rustic dessert. It's not about perfection. But just make sure that it's sort of somewhat even, just so that the biscuits don't get layered wonky. Anyway, all right, let's go into dunking the next layer. As you can see, there is plenty of that left over. So I might actually adjust the recipe for you because I reckon we could do 1 cup of water to 1 cup of sugar and keep the limoncello amount and lemon zest because, I mean, that's just going to be a waste otherwise. For now, we just smooth the remainder of that mascarpone, lemon curd. You know, you could add some extra limoncello into this cream part as well. I probably think it's enough alcohol for me. Depends how much you like. If you like your tiramisu quite alcoholic, then by all means you can add a little bit more. Sorry guys, I'm not a professional cake maker, so my skills aren't as amazing as some of those people that make those gorgeous cakes like my girlfriend, but it's enough for a beautiful rustic homemade tiramisu. You don't ever cut this properly, scoop it out into people's plate. Has anyone seen that video where the guy's got a tiramisu drawer in his kitchen? He's like a chef. Literally has a tiramisu. You just want to make sure the edges are a little bit smoother, just to help with those biscuits. All right, that's it. Now let's get on to adding our fresh raspberries on top. Just before I serve it, I might shave some white chocolate. You could add some icing sugar later on, but apart from that, she's a beaut. As you can see, look how many raspberries I've got. You do not need to add this many. I'm purely just being, I don't know, I just like things that look pretty. Might not look pretty to you, but to me, it looks gorgeous. But anyway, so we're going to layer it like this. If raspberries are quite expensive, you don't have to add this much. You could just get like maybe two punnets, and you could just scatter them over the top. I'm just arranging them as such. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this with cling wrap. So if you are making this to eat on the day, I would suggest making it in the morning, cling wrapping it, putting it in the fridge for at least 4 hours before you serve it. You really want those ladyfingers to absorb the alcohol and that sugar syrup to soften up. Otherwise, no tiramisu has crunchy biscuits when served. But ideally, you can make this ahead of time. I'm doing this 2 days before the event, and it's going to be totally fine. 1 to 2 days before the event or a function is fine. And I am all for desserts that can be done ahead of time. I'm big on that. Anyway, let me finish layering this for you, and that is it. And there we have it. So limoncello and raspberry tiramisu. I am going to cling wrap this, put it in the fridge like I said. I'm making this 2 days ahead of time. It'll be delicious. Make sure that you really cover it well, otherwise the cream, the mascarpone part will kind of crust and go yucky. But apart from that, you literally just take it out of the fridge, scoop it. I will add a little bit of footage maybe on my social media of me making this if you wanted to have a look over there. But apart from that, hope you like the recipe. Let's flip the camera around for a little bit of an outro. Cling wrap. I'm going to do double layer just because I'm super paranoid. There's a hole in something. And is anyone else with me? I really like to make sure that my cling wrap is tightly covering my foods as such. Double layer for me, into the fridge. I can't wait for people to try this. So excited. But anyway, till next week.